In terms of Wembley Stadium, I'm familiar with the announcements that have been made yesterday, but what we don't know is the details in terms of what specific measures that they're intending to put in place. What WHO has recommended, and we're advocating with all member states and public health authorities to really be cautious in the risks and undertake a risk assessment. And it is up to member states to undertake that risk assessment and to implement the measures that they feel that they can manage in terms of risk mitigation. So that's clear. Where we have seen images of people within stadia, but also outside of stadium, at the UEFA football tournament, but also at other events and other gatherings, yes, we are concerned about people coming into conditions or settings whereby the transmission of the virus will be facilitated. We're not in opposition to the games occurring, but they need to be occurring bearing in mind that we are in the midst of a pandemic still, and that every effort needs to be placed on reducing the level of risk to public health through these events. And that can be done, in multiple ways. Reducing attendance in the stadia is a way that many of the host cities have done so, but there's a whole host of other actions that need to be taken outside of the stadia and at a broader level as well over the summer period. If you look at the epidemiology in Europe, overall, we've been declining in terms of cases over the past 2 months, but that's plateaued now. That's come to an end, this significant decline. And we're not just seeing rates increase in the UK, we're seeing rates increase in several parts of the European region. And that's very much associated with the introduction and the spread of the Delta variant. This will continue over the summer period. So the message is that really we need to prevent and slow the spread of SARS-CoV-2 in particular. And we need to do that and not forget that we have a dangerous virus that can still pose a very significant public health risk to our populations. These are events where people come together, where you can have these super spreading scenarios, and where the spread of the variants of concern, but also SARS-CoV in general, can be accelerated. And we want to avoid that at all costs over this summer period, because what we don't want to see is a gradual increase in transmission. And especially what we want to avoid is a very rapid increase of a variant of concern that could still pose a very significant strain on health systems where vaccination coverage rates are not high. We've all put in place broader health measures and restrictions during this pandemic. And WHO's position is very much now we're not out of it yet. And we need to keep applying those public health and social measures, keep very close eye on what's going on, and act swiftly if there are any increases in cases.